So, and it's very important to know, especially from protecting your assets, that I believe that you cannot be too careful. And I really don't talk about these things a lot, because we talk about, and especially as an investment advisor, I talk just a lot about making money. But you know, the big mistake we make a lot is that we don't protect the money that we have, just making sure that you're not a victim of a scandal, so of a scam, or just one who even goes out even considering some of this fraudulent, crazy stuff that is out there now. So I am going to just hit it. Let's just hit the ground running. I'm going to go into my notes. I got some good stuff for you. We were looking at a story that was on CBS, and it was sharing a story about a senior citizen who, and this is not just seniors that are victims of these things, but it's an even sadder story because they don't have the time to financially recover from this stuff. So the lady was saying that she met someone online and that he was just talking to her, and they, basically she just fell in love with the person, never met them, talked on the phone, talked through the internet. And then the person said they went to Africa and they became ill in Africa. And then, so they needed her to send money. And by the end of this event, this lady, true story, had sent over $300,000 to a person that she'd only known for 4 months. And it wasn't even a real person. It never even happened. I just find that to be like amazing. So it's just sad, and we think like, how could that happen? How could someone something like that happen? Like that is like crazy, but it's not crazy people that this happens to. It's normal people who, she said she was just lonely. She was lonely, needed somebody to talk to. And it's amazing that this person put in 4 months, but they went for the big money. Look, they weren't just settling for some short money. They said, well, I'm going to put in 4 months. And they got a $300,000 return on 4 months of time. That, that's from a crook standpoint, I'm sure they were like, this is a massive return on their money. Sad, sad, sad to think. Don't be that one who they can go around bragging about for the rest of their life that they got over on you or anyone in your family. That's why I'm saying that we have to share this information. The researchers are saying that that an older person is more likely to fall victim of deception. When I would kind of think the opposite. I would think that they would have been through so much, they wouldn't believe anything. No, but I just feel like that maybe, they just are so lonely. So, and that's what I'm going to talk about on Monday during an interview on CBS for the Virginia This Morning show about how to protect your loved ones and find out and investigate, are they in financial crisis? Because, these things are happening, and sometimes the kids aren't really keeping up with their mom. Now their inheritance was spent on someone they don't know, and they're highly unlikely going to ever get that money back. So let's talk about now. I found this interesting website, and honestly, I'm not even quite sure if this is legitimate, but it's consumerfraudreporting.org, and they have the top 10 scams for 2019 that we should look out for. Look, now I don't even trust anybody. Don't even trust the .org, but you do need to be careful on things. Like, they're not asking for any money, but I just thought that I wanted to see, like, what are some of the things that are going on. And this was one when I did the search on like top 10 scams, and then they had this particular website. I will share with you for a second, because you might want to look it up for yourself. So look at this. And then, so it has like This is consumerfraudreporting.org, top 10 list of scams of 2019. The reason that it started looking suspicious to me, because there were things that were like misspelled in here. And check this out. Top 10 scams: debt collection, people calling, leaving phone calls that are threatening, or some of the debt collectors scams. Obviously they said that was one of the top 10 that, some of the debt collectors, I guess, just being too aggressive, but these are the things that have been turned in. Most of the complaints, and mostly full of complaints, or also said some of these complaints involved hidden fees and billing disputes as well. So it might say that you're paying a debt or paying off the debt, and then they added on extra fees and you didn't pay off the debt when you thought that you had paid off the debt, and I know that that's frightening. I think a way around that might be, if you owe someone some money and a debt collector calls, try to communicate directly with the company to avoid the collection company if you can. Fake government officials, a number 2 scam. That you're getting emails or a phone call from a government agency like the IRS. I suggest hang up the phone and call them back. Don't believe the hype. And this identity theft. And I want to let any comments, please write down your comments, because there's so much that I want to just discuss. And I don't want to go too much past your time. So make your comments. And if you make a comment on the AfroEconomics with JB Bryan page, I will refer back to you later. But Delia is indeed here, that, so she's keeping an eye on that over there. So we are aware of you out there. But on the webinar, it's great because I can see what you insert. So please, if you know of a story that you want to share and things that are going on that you can help us acknowledge AfroEconomics Consumer Protection Week, please share the empowerment, share the news. So I'm going to share this one. This is the FTC, Federal Trade Commission. Now this is legit. So in addition, and of course the .org, could indeed be a legitimate nonprofit, but when in question, I think we should just go to, the government, go to the government. If there's like someone that says like, this is handled by the government, or they're calling you because of the government, or this particular information, like if you go in and you'll look for an IRS form, and I've noticed, so on Google, if I want form Schedule C or something, there's other companies that will make the Schedule C. You don't want your PDF from any other company except for the .gov website. You need a particular 1040 or any tax form, go directly to that agency and get it. Don't find yourself paying some company to give you a form that is actually for free. So this is the www.consumer.ftc.gov. And look, to have like so much information on here: money and credit, homes and mortgages, health and fitness, jobs and making money, privacy, identity, and online security, scams. So I'm looking at, this is right here. Look, watch yourself. So you have a responsibility. If something happens or you know something about a scam, report it to the FTC. Report it. So this one, I wanted to look at what they had on identity theft, right? So warning signs, that if you feel that someone is using your information, if you find some unfamiliar accounts on your credit report, that is a warning sign that you may be a victim or are a victim of identity theft. So what to do right away if you're a victim of identity theft? Call the company where you know fraud occurred. Place a fraud alert on your credit report and get copies of your credit report. And report that identity theft to the Federal Trade Commission. and file a report with your local police department. It's no joke. It's against the law. People cannot steal your identity. And look at this, identitytheft.gov can help. No matter what your specific identity theft situation is, right? Protect your identity. Information is power. This is AfroEconomics Consumer Protection Week. Let's protect ourselves. So definitely make sure that we stay up on, hey, Tay, I'm glad that you are here. You're never too late. We're bringing this information. And I'll also, okay, now I want to go to some other notes that I have for you. So remember, that's ftc.gov, and get your credit report now. Go to annualcreditreport.com, get your free annual credit report. We have to make sure, and if you're a member of AfroEconomics, we can look at that together during one of our quarterly meetings, your personal quarterly meeting, and then we can go over your personal credit report and we can address these things. It is amazing how many errors that I have found over my career on people's credit report, because we just assume that we have a bad score. You know, so you just assume that you, and then we go out and we pay these expensive places to do things that we really can do for ourselves. You can do this, we can do this. But the first step is to know what's on it yourself and take your power back. AfroEconomics is about self-empowerment, that we have to take our power back. I want our members to take power over understanding their tax returns and working towards doing their own tax returns. I want us to take our power back on understanding our credit, improving our credit, and doing these things together. You know, take your power back. So protecting your identity, that's what we just addressed. Let's look at some things that I want you to do to protect yourself, protect your wealth, protect it by one. I want us to question everything. Question it. Question phone calls, question your mail solicitations, question email offers, question links on social media. You know, don't just take things at face value. These crooks, they want to make you believe in what they're doing. They make scams look and sound like it's legitimate. You know, I mean, look at that thing with those schools. They've been like scamming institutions. They've been scamming like major institutions with fake pictures and stuff so that these kids can get into school. You know, so you know that's some craziness that they can do. There was this story, I don't know, it was because I'm researching all of this, where this guy, he was putting his pictures on social media, and he said that there were like 5 or 6 times that his identity, his pictures have been stolen and used in promotional material for like dating sites or for raising money for veteran situations, because, you know, he was a veteran, and he was like, they were just taking it. He was like, I don't know, they just like my look or something. That is amazing. And when we put the pictures out there, they can do that. I remember on one time someone took one of my profile pictures, and she just used a different, or the person used a different name and just took the picture. And by the grace of God, Facebook said, is that you? Is this you? And I was like, no. And they had like a name, like it wasn't even like a name. Like, I don't even think they were like in this country. It was like, you know, it was kind of like complimentary, because I was like, oh, wow. Like, you know, they want my picture, but, but you don't want that to happen. You know, it's spooky, because once we put that picture out there, anybody can say that, download it, take it, and steal your identity. You know, so definitely don't want to put too much information out there. And then, you know, people want to sue Facebook for protecting you as a consumer. Look, don't think that anybody is going to look out for you more than you. If you don't want everybody to know about it, don't share it with everybody. That's just plain and simple. We have to know that. Somebody call you, ask you your social. Don't give it to them. Don't give it to them. Question everything. Guard, my second point is that guard your personal information, right? And they know how to get to you. They know how to get to you. They know how to give you these bogus emails that ask for your bank account. They'll ask you for your account number. They'll ask you for your social security number. They will just, I have had people just like you who have had their whole checking account taken over because of something they believed, they thought it was real. And then, so once they have your social security number, they can use it to even access like your medical records. So guard your numbers. And unfortunately, a lot of times this information is taken by people that you know and used, by other family members and things like that. That's really sad. Now, I know I heard a story that a person was sent to jail for stealing a family member's identity, and the family member sued them for doing it, and they went to jail like for years for doing that. For doing that, and so watch your credit card, watch your credit report, watch your credit report carefully. And then a third point is take your time. If you're talking to someone and they're trying to sell you like medical equipment or anything, and they're rushing you, that's a sign that you need to move back. The more they push you, the more you should slow down. Tech line alarm. Yep, AfroEconomics has a member that has their own alarm company. Anybody need their alarm hooked up in their house, their new house, your old house, the rental property, whatever you need, yep, check out Tech Line Alarm. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. They will hook you up. Hector says, I have been dealing with IT issues for years now. There's a man in New York that has the same name as me and birthday. That is scary. The background check people have us mixed up. I have to prove to jobs, a DMV. Oh my goodness. That is terrible. That's terrible. Woo. When in doubt, Ms. Copman says, when in doubt, do without. I know that's right. Dr. Hicks is in the house. Just got out of class. That's right. I hope you help somebody. That's what we are doing. That's indeed. Wow, Mr. Rodriguez. That is really a sad story. Ms. Tripp, JB, can you please email me an email address for you? Do you have any connections with art appraisals industry? I believe I have a portrait that's worth a lot and I don't want to be scammed. I know that's right. I'm just saying, Brandy, thank you for thinking that I know everything. Because I love you. I just love it. I love that I get to be asked a question like that on that level. And somebody out there right now knows an art appraisal company. There are millions of people right now, Brandy, watching who are going to find us that art appraisal company so that you do not get scammed. We're going to get that. We're on it, right? We're on it. So we're claiming that. I got you. Don't you worry. And I will. And my email address is jb@afroeconomics.com or jb@jbbryan.com. You go to either website and click. Well, there's a little blue box. Usually, I like it. And then if you click like to chat or talk now, I think it says, and then you can email me that way as well. But definitely jb@jbbryan.com. Thank you. Thank you, y'all. You have some great questions. Anybody want to talk right now? You could call 833-ASK-AFRO. I always forget that I have a hotline. But we're talking, let me go back to my consumer protection. Indeed, So take your time is what I was referring to. Don't let anyone rush you into making a purchase. That buy now or else you're going to lose this deal. Don't even get in it. Well, then I got to lose this one because you ain't going to rush me. You know, if they tell you that, you know, this price is not going to be good, you know, tomorrow, then just, okay, it is what it is, but you're not going to rush me. You will regret it forever if you allow them to corner you like that. So take your time. I would say that most people probably that are victims of a scam, like they always have to add like some sort of urgency to it. Like, you know, I'm sick, I'm dying, send the money now. My mother needs it, you know, now. I'm locked up, I'm in jail, or I got to have surgery yesterday. You know, it's always. So, you know, when it feels wrong, trust yourself. A fourth point of protecting yourself from a scam or identity theft is get everything in writing, because verbal promises don't count. And, you know, people will tell you like, oh, you know, this is good and I promise you, and this, yes, it will show up as paid off and everything. You know, no, get everything in writing. You need it. You need to have everything in writing. And then if they make an offer for you, even if it's paying off a debt and they make an offer, get that offer in writing. Another point, curiosity killed the cat. Those are the people that fall victim of these scams. Curious. You curious. Oh, you got something that says bling, it pops up on your computer. Click here to get $500. And what? Your curiosity. Boom. Now you got a virus on your computer. Stop being so curious. You don't need $500. I'm telling you, nobody is going to give you $500 with a click of your computer. Ain't going to happen, all right? I mean, and if I'm wrong, but I'm telling you, I'm probably right. You know, it's not going to happen. So don't even worry about it. I get those ones like those vacation homes. I mean, the vacation calls all the time. Don't hang up. You qualify for it. And I'm like, click. Don't you tell me what to do. Yeah, I'm going to hang up because you told me not to. So look, at a 6 point, if you really want a prize, the prize will be free. Like the people who won last week on game night. I am going to eventually send them their money they want. By next week, this time, they will have that money. But in order to get their money, they do not have to pay me anything, right? Look, you win $100 for winning game night, and in exchange for that, you have to send me $20. I mean, seriously? Seriously? And people fall for it. A legitimate contest. If you win, you win, right? And you can't win a contest that you didn't enter. How you gonna get something to say you a winner? You won the contest and you didn't even enter the contest. It's a lie. Don't believe the hype. A 7th point, free merchandise offers or money back guarantees. Don't you love those commercials? People do it. This one lady was telling me about, she did that commercial and it was talking about they would send you this free skincare product and it would make you look young and beautiful. And she was like, well, I was just really curious. So they said, but give us your credit card information. My curiosity, no matter how young it would make me look, would at that point end. I was like, I guess you're just gonna have to look old because you ain't getting my credit card information. But no, she gave them the credit card information. These are intelligent people. Gave them the credit card information, boom. After she got the product, then every month she was being charged for new moisturizer. I mean, seriously, she hadn't even finished the first bottle. She went through so much to get that turned off. It was crazy. Because then even the bank is like, well, why'd you give them the card? Like, what do you mean you didn't want it? So I think she had to pay for at least 1 month. She was fighting, trying to get it to stop. I do not, look, she had to tell him, I do not want to look young. Believe me, it's fine. That's terrible. I mean, I've had people that I respect that have fallen victim of scams where it's like you won the lottery And then if you pay this amount, then we'll send you the lottery money after you pay this amount. This is happening all the time. There was like, I was, where does that fall in? Like I was looking at those top scams, like fake prizes, sweepstakes, free lotteries, and free gifts and lottery scams. Number 6 on these scams, top 10. Number 6, like it happens. A final point. Use a credit card for online and mail order purchases if you do it. Because a credit card gives you better fraud protection than a debit card. New information to me too, because I thought like, hey, my debit card says Visa on it. I use my debit card all the time. Look, that's a change to me, because credit cards are governed by different federal laws. Drop the mic, right? So with a credit card, you can dispute an unauthorized charge, and the credit card company must take the charge off and then while the bill is being investigated. But that's not the case with a debit card. There's not, the word must is not in there, but usually they do. But with a credit card, they must take it off until it is investigated. So we definitely need to use our credit card for online and mail order purchases. Wow, that's some power there. And for nothing else, get that annual credit report, get your credit report. We got to look at that. We got to pray for Mr. Rodriguez and make sure that he gets out of that situation. You got to add something. If you have 2 people, same birthday, same name, but different location, thank God for the different location. But have to maybe add something where on yours, make sure that anything that's purchased, that you would have to go through an extra step to prove yourself, to protect your identity. But as Mr. Rodriguez mentioned, that comes up in employment and everything, so protecting your identity is important. I had a client where someone had stolen his identity and got a driver's license in his name in a different state. So when he came up to renew his driver's license, they had someone else who was using his identity. And he's just going along with his life, la, 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 la. And then somebody stole his identity in a state he had never even lived in, wasn't even thinking about. And he couldn't renew in his home state because somebody already had a license in another state. So y'all, definitely, this is real. This is real. Look at this. A comment. Thank you. I will email you. Thank you, Brandy. That happened to me when my boys were in high school sports, college football recruit coach. Be careful with the schools too. He signed up for recruiting scout organization that charged me hundreds of dollars for a full year. I couldn't even get out of it. Wow. He told me he only needed my card information to hold my son's spot and nothing would be charged. But it was all verbal. Never again. I know that's right. I'm glad you can laugh about it now, but that's a trip. It's so true. Never again. And it's sad because it makes it hard for, people who are doing legitimate business. And but I always understand it, because I just feel like, people, you can't be safe enough. You need to be very careful. And, especially in financial services, everybody is a financial advisor, everybody. So it's important to me to encourage my people to check on licenses, check on backgrounds, check at FINRA.gov, check on the organizations, because anybody can be a financial advisor. Yes, they can give you financial advice, but to actually be licensed and regulated, you need to check that out and find out how. When you're going to open up an investment with someone, ask them, how are you regulated? How are you? When you search out their name, what is in their background? What's on the background report? What type of licenses do they have? Everything. You can do that on me. You can, search everything. The fact that I go by JB Bryan because I'm licensed has to be on my license. You can't just, but this is a very sensitive business when you're doing it correctly. and you're under the regulation. But when you're not under the regulation, they can do anything, they can tell you anything, they can advise you on anything, and everything goes. And that's what's so scary. And I have met people who have turned over their money, big sums of money, to absolutely nothing. I met a couple, they put $800,000, $400,000 a piece into something that didn't exist. And the people went to jail, but they really didn't know what questions to ask. They really didn't know. Is LifeLock worth the money you pay? I believe that you can lock your own life. I believe that you really can. You can you can tell the credit bureaus, don't let anything go through unless this passcode is used. And then there's a requirement so that if anybody access your information, and then your life is locked. LifeLock has organizational things too, I believe. I really have never used a company, but as I was saying, AfroEconomics is about self-empowerment. So, but what they do is I think they collect like all of your credit report, all of your credit cards and things that you have, and they save those things for you. But you could lock your own life as well. You could save a picture of all your credit cards on the cloud. But if you feel more comfortable with them having your stuff on their cloud, I wouldn't. You go, oh, I don't trust the cloud. Where if you give it to somebody else, what is it on? The cloud. But when it's with you and your cloud, it's only a cloud that you have access to and you know the passcode to. And then you don't have to worry about getting a notice from them that we've had a breach of our cloud or somebody accessed or a scammer got into our system. You protect yourself. We have to. It's and that's why it's good that we do this weekly, bi-weekly, that we talk as much as possible, because we have to have this stuff on the top of our mind. We're working. You're working all day. You need to be conscious of where your money is flowing every day. Check your checking account. Check the phone app. Get the phone app for your bank. Keep up with your money. Keep up with your money. Set up alerts at your bank. You can put it, technology has allowed you to do things. You don't even have to talk to anybody at the bank. Use your technology. Know where your money is. Be accountable to your money. When R. Kelly was on TV and he was saying, I don't know where my money is, I know that he was telling the truth. He might lie on something else, but he was telling the truth when he said, I don't know how much money I got. I don't know where my money is. And it's sad because people don't want to take control over their money until their money is gone. We have to take care of our money while we're making the money. And sometimes we're making so much money that we really lose sight. I remember years ago, I was doing business with a company and they were ciphering off of the commissions that they owed me. And it was only by happenstance. I can't even remember how I caught that, but they had lowered like the percentage that they were supposed to be paying me, and they weren't paying me, and so we have to be careful with that, and they owed me a lot of money. Eventually I got it back, but what I was mostly disappointed about was that I trusted them that much, that I didn't every time, because I was just so busy working that I trusted them. But my thing is, think about how many people they did that to. I've had clients who had their pensions or lump sum offers calculated, and because of the other people making about the same amount of money, I said the company needs to recalculate. They frown and everything, and then they come back, they had their numbers wrong. It's the grace of God. So we question everything. It's uncomfortable, yes, but question things. Because of that, I have been able to help people find millions if we looked at it collectively. The other day, I was helping a client work on refinancing her home, and then I looked at one of her tax forms, and they had the wrong code on there for one of her distributions. So, and it was from work. So and I called the work, and then the girl said, oh, no, from work, from our old job, the employer. They said, oh, no, that's the code, because when you're over 55, this is where I said, could you just talk to your supervisor about that? And of course, she never apologized. She just said, we'll send the corrected form, and hung up. That's crazy. But you want to discredit. But my thing is, How many people have they done wrong? Because my client didn't have any idea. And, you know, it was like, what are you looking at? And I was like, just looking at the form, and then turn it over. And I'm like, oh, that code is wrong. But I knew that employer had done that. And it's a major Fortune 500 company that has been coding people's distributions incorrectly. This is crazy. Look, but is that a scam? You know what I mean? No, but y'all shouldn't be still making the same mistake. We got to keep up with our money. So that's the moral of tonight. Consumer Protection Week. Keep up with your money. You got to protect your money. Protect your future. Look at every bit of it, every dime, and be particular. And who cares what they think? Get your money. Get your money. All right. Look, I got that out. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your time. Thank you. If you have any additional questions, just inbox me. But hey, it's about consumer protection. I hope that we covered some key things. I will upload this into the YouTube AfroEconomics with JB Bryan page so that you can refer back to that. I'm Mr. Benta. Good night to the Petersons. Good night, Tech Line. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Dr. Hicks, Janice, Dr. Arendelle, Mr. Rodriguez, thank you. Jenny, thank you. To the love of my life, Don Tice, thank you. Love you, miss you. Miss Tripp, thank you. How you doing? Demetrius, thank you. It's good to see you tonight. Barbara, what's up? How you doing? Again, to the Andersons and Miss Witherspoon, you know you are a blessing. And to everyone that called in that couldn't log in, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. And I will show you how to log in if you ever have a challenge. Because I'm telling you, everybody who was logged in at one point didn't know how to do it. But we are empowered in using that technology. Good night to you as well. And thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Thank you all. God bless y'all. Don't forget, the Soul of Your Money on Sunday mornings.